I'm standing in front of another new launch at this show, and for a change, this one is a relatively affordable one. It's certainly a great value package. This is the new Beneteau Antares 11. It's the largest of the Antares range, and as with all of them now, it's outboard powered. But being 11 meters long, it is the biggest they've done by some margin. And already you can see all this glass along the hull side means that you get a lot of lateral light in there. There's nice little opening hatches giving a bit of fresh air, but it just means that even when you're down below, it doesn't feel too claustrophobic. There's a lot of light coming in there. You can see the style of the pilot house, again quite sleek. That extra length makes the whole design look a little bit sleeker, and you can see the way that hardtop extends all the way back out to over the transom, providing a bit of extra shade and protection, and meaning you can enclose that cockpit area. And then behind this very convenient olive tree, you then get to see how it all looks from the stern. But let's jump up onto the stand and we can take a closer look at all the features. It costs from 162,990 euros with a pair of 250 horsepower Suzuki outboards. So this is the largest Antares in the range. They've never done one as big as this, and one of the immediate unique features is this fold down terrace on the starboard side of the cockpit area. So that whole section of cockpit coaming folds down electrically and creates that lovely view out from the cockpit. So the cockpit itself has a nice good sized table, a good wrap of seating around it, and you can see that the hardtop extension extends all the way back to the transom with folding canopy system, so this whole area can be enclosed to create an extra outside-inside area. The other thing you can see straight away is that when these cockpit doors are slid back, there is a little fill-in cushion extension here that means the seating then runs absolutely unbroken right through into the saloon. And then the saloon, fairly conventional. There's an inside dinette here, fold-out table, and you can see that it's on runners, so it slides backwards and forwards if you want to move it in or further out to make more use of that outside seating. There's an opening window on the port side. If you look up on the roof here, you can see that there's 4 separate glass panels, the front 2 of which also open to make sunroofs. Galley is on the starboard side, very nice and neatly tucked away. There's a smoke glass cover for the actual gas hob and sink, cup holders, plenty of storage. There's a little microwave in there, fridge in there, and television on the wall. We've also got a little bit of overhead storage space up here. Nothing too fancy, but nice and practical. And there you can see how the doors all slide across. Helm station itself, it's one small step up. Again, I think there's a bit more storage down there. Single helm seat, little bucket, so some support. Flip up bolster section. Nice neat helm. Nothing too surprising. Throttles for those twin Suzuki 250s. One thing you have got here is a sliding door out onto the side deck, and you can see there is a matching gate in here, so particularly useful for single-handed helming. Means you can come alongside, immediately deal with lines and fenders and jump down onto the pontoon. Whilst we're here, I'll show you that this is an asymmetric design, so the side decks are different sized. So the whole pilot house is moved across to the port side a bit, which means you get this really nice deep bulwark safe walkway up to the bow, which has this fabulous sunbathing area. You can see he's got a little canopy, central cushion with a couple of cup holders in it, and there's some hatch letting light down into the cabin below, and twin anchor lockers. If we move back into the boat, back down, there's a couple of steps down into the accommodation area, and this is rather unusual. There's this small lobby section, so rather than trying to cram in 3 cabins, they've left a nice bit of open space here. So, and there's extra freezer space in here, always useful, and some more storage and access to the sides, some of the tankage and so on the starboard. And there's all the fire and electric breakers. And then moving forward, this is the owner's cabin. Really good size actually. The beam carries a long way forward in the boat, so it's much wider than you might expect. So really nice wide bed, good sized side windows. There's a little opening one on either side so you can get some fresh air in there. Bit of hanging storage, TV, but it's the width that is most unusual. And this does have ensuite access to the bathroom. There is only one bathroom on board, so as well as having ensuite access from the master cabin, there is also access from the sort of lobby area so that it can be used as a day heads. One thing to note is you do get a good sized separate shower stall. So if we come back out through here into that lobby area and then down below, this is the mid cabin, and there's plenty of standing headroom in the entrance here, but it's only in the entrance, although you can see this nice glass hatch overhead, so you get a decent amount of natural light in here. And then if you crouch down, you can get into the berth area itself. Again, little opening window, some nice reading lights, bit of storage at the back. But what's unusual here is it goes all the way across the beam of the boat. So although the bed is pretty much at floor level, it's a nice big bed. And if you look across, there is actually a little seating area, or possibly even a kid's double bed. You have to crawl in to get there. You probably see not a great deal of space, but once you're here, you can actually sit up. And I don't think you're going to stay here and sit here and read your book, but it does mean that there is room. Perhaps if you're a couple with a young kid, they could sleep at the end of the bed, and there is at least headroom and another window here. So 2 cabins, 4 full-size adult berths, and maybe 1 small one. But let's not forget that that dinette in the saloon also converts into a bed, so you could sleep up to 6. And there you go, it back down that side deck into the cockpit. And you can see there is a section of awning installed there, so you can see how that whole section can be enclosed with that big folding fabric sunroof overhead, so that you can have shade or light in the cockpit area. And of course that bench also slides forward to allow those twin outboard engines to tuck up. Very neat design actually. There's a lot going on, but it works really very well. Well, that concludes our rapid tour of the Beneteau Antares 11. I'm sitting here on one of the features, that little platform from the cockpit. There's been a lot of interest in this boat. The UK dealer tells me he's already sold 2 of them from the show, and you can see why. I'll remind you that the prices start at €162,000, including VAT, with those twin 250 horsepower Suzukis. We can't wait to sea trial it, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.